When we last left off, Shredder had died, officially defeated by the Turtles. But in a universe of reincarnation, old gods, and giant mutants, death doesn't mean the end. And Shredder isn't done yet. This is Comicstorian. We take comic books, turning them into audio dramas, and today we'll be covering the book, Shredder in Hell. This is a spin-off graphic novel, a full and complete story talking about Shredder's rise from the grave. Kitsune kneels over the body of Orokusaki. Prayer to her father, the dragon god, offering him a path back into the world, guiding him with her brush as she paints the scene of Shredder's death, facing the Turtles, defeating them in combat only to be finally felled by Master Splinter, the reincarnation of Amoto Yoshi. It is in his last moments that Saki finds a shred of honor. He tells Yoshi that he will once again be in the forest of their youth, in the dream that they both shared. And he turned to Kitsune. I do not accept failure. If there are many paths, I will find the one that leads me back to you, he promises, and Splinter's sword flashes and Saki's life is at an end. But is it? He stands in the forest, looking at two young children playing with wooden swords. It is himself and Yoshi, when they were kids. The dream. He whispers, looking around in surprise. Yoshi, I have made it into the dream, he says, but a voice calls to him from the darkness of the woods, taunting him for choosing the path of the meek. Who is this? Show yourself, he bellows. Following the sound of the voice to a cave, he steps down through the rocks to a lake below, believing that he knows the voice, that it is the one that speaks in the back of his mind, the one that thirsts for power. Good guess, but the voice that speaks to us is that of the dragon, the man says as he launches out of the shadows, slamming Saki into the wall. Shredder looks up in surprise at the face of his younger self, the man that he was when he led the Foot Clan of old. The original you! Takeshi Tatsuo sneers, Saki throwing him off, demanding to know how this is even possible, that he thought he was in the dream of his and Yoshi's. Stop your whining about the traitor rodent, Takeshi shouts, lashing and kicking Shredder in the face. We don't need him. We are the key to the divine power. We are the dragon warriors, carrier of the dragon god's spirit. Saki fights back, but Takeshi grabs him, throwing him into the lake. Strange water demons coming out of the darkness, grabbing a hold of Shredder, pulling him deep down, his breath escaping him, the world becoming black as he floats into the darkness. But someone is there, grabbing a hold of him, pulling him back towards the surface, back towards the light. Saki finally wakes up, seeing Splinter sitting next to him. Easy, brother. Everything's all right. You're safe, Splinter tells him with a smile. What is going on here? What kind of damned forest have you brought me to? Shredder asks his old friend, but Splinter explains that this is a forest of Shredder's making. That demon is a manifestation of his ancient self, that he is still conflicted over releasing control of his path in life. The dragon god is a source of power that you have always felt that you were destined for, but it is also a source of all anguish that follows those desires. Yoshi explains as he leads Shredder through the forest to a golden door. He opens the doors, revealing the tree of life that sits within, and explains that within the tree of life lies the dreamer, a god that creates all things as he slumbers. If Shredder wishes to be at peace, he must truly release himself from the path of the dragon god and place himself in the hands of the dreamer. But as he finally turns away, refusing to allow any gods to control him, he decides to take his fate into his own hands. He has also promised that he would find a way back to Kitsune. He turns running to the door as Yoshi stares after his friend. He loves her, he whispers. He does, his wife says, and Yoshi turns in surprise to see the spirit of his wife, Tang Shen, standing next to him, and they embrace briefly, their spirits becoming one before she tells Yoshi to go after his old foe, his old friend, Shredder. Shredder has escaped the forest, entering a desolate land, and Yoshi tries to follow him, but as he leaves the forest, his body begins to shrink until he is that of a small rat. Shredder is shocked as the rat leaps onto his shoulder, but realizes that his friend is still trying to help him. You all right there, little friend? And Splinter squeaks in reply. Splinter nods and begins to walk through the wasteland. Fine, let's do this. And as he continues forward, eventually walking past the others, their eyes glow with an unnatural light. But Saki doesn't see the strange creature that watches him. The walking corpse is suddenly turning on him as he realizes that they are those that he murdered in life. The strange creature, a mass of tentacles and eyes, continues to watch, controlling those that attack Saki. But he continues to knock them aside, cutting off their heads, keeping them clear of him. And he stops as the voices call out. "Oh yeah, that's the Shredder I know," a voice says, and its brothers are joining in as Saki turns in surprise, his eyes widening as he stares at the dark spirits of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. "The sons of Amato Yoshi," he whispers. "So what's it going to be, Shredhead? Molten lava or the end of our blades?" the turtles ask, and he holds up his hands as the turtles surround him. "Hear me out, sons of Amato Yoshi. I mean you no harm in this realm. I am here with your father to accomplish something much larger than a foolish quest for revenge that I laid upon you in our lifetime together." But the turtles, they aren't listening. They laugh at his words as they launch into an attack. Saki rolls away, blocking several attacks with his wrist blades, getting knocked to the ground, rolling away out of another attack. But Donnie is there, knocking him in the gut. "Death has slowed you down, Shreds." Raph laughs as they close in, but Splinter is there squeaking as he launches himself at his children. Saki rushing into them, knocking them aside, picking up the discarded sword. But the turtles call in the cavalry, with the zombie hordes returning, swarming around him and bringing him down. They begin to claw and bite at him, too many for him to fight. But as the energy glows in his eyes, it begins to pulse out of him. "No!" he bellows, the energy ripping apart the zombie hordes, cleansing the bridge that they are fighting on. But the creature is still watching, ordering those to gather. The zombies reform, gathering together to become a larger creature, and it takes a new form, that of Saki's old master. "I am not impressed," Master Masato tells him. Masato steps forward, telling Saki that he is nothing more than a puppet of Takeshi. And Saki lashes out, stabbing Master Masato through the stomach. "Quiet, you old man!" he snarls, but Masato transforms, becoming a zombie creature once again. Energy coursing through Shredder, destroying the monster in one blow. "What is happening to me?" Saki says in shock, staring at his hands, but the monster reforms again, becoming an image of his father this time. Saki tries to fight his father, but the man dodges every attack, and he informs Saki that he is nothing. Saki's father draws his sword, striking him, slashing him above the eye, drawing blood. "You betrayed your clan brothers and killed your own father!" the man shouts. But as he's prepared to make the killing blow, Splinter steps forward, ripping through the father, blowing him up. "Well done, Yoshi," Saki says as he retrieves his rat friend. He looks up to see the zombies reforming once more. "I think it's time to flee, brother," he says, using his new power to destroy the bridge, rushing away from the hordes of the undead, but the zombies continue to follow him, surrounding him. "Seems like a good moment to unleash that full dragon power, huh?" the voice calls out, and Saki looks up in surprise at a young demon boy watching from afar. The zombies have now taken the form of the sword masters of his past, and he slashes through them, kicking three with a whirlwind blow, but another comes in low, cutting off his leg below the knee. He cries in pain, unleashing his power once more, knocking the zombies away. I'm okay, he gasps, pushing himself against a nearby rock, the demon boy appearing before him, impressed with his display of power. Saki looks up at him, asking if that is all that lies in his path. "If you say so, but maybe the lady over there can give you a second opinion," the demon says, pointing over his shoulder at the hooded form of Kitsune. He enters a cave, and Saki crawls after her, moving through the cave, images of his past flooding through his mind until his head is severed by Takeshi Taseo, and his head is given to Kitsune, who buries him in the ground. Saki doesn't understand, looking up at her, questioning why she is doing this to him. "Why are you helping me? I am the Dragon Warrior, the vessel of the god," Shredder whispers. And Takeshi Taseo enters the chamber beneath the Tree of Life, his eyes glowing with the energy of the Dragon Warrior. Takeshi Taseo looks up at the Dragon God, who can sense that his soul is divided. The god growls at him, telling the warrior that he must not allow his dual self to awaken from the dream. Saki gasps as he pulls himself out of the ground, looking at the smiling face of the demon child once again. "Glad to see you in one piece, Dragon Warrior," he says, but Saki shakes his head. "Don't call me that." He picks up Splinter and he puts him on his shoulder, asking the demon if he knows the way back to the Dreaming Forest. But the demon tells him that he can't, that he is only able to access this level of the underworld. With these words, he departs, bidding farewell to his two friends. Saki looks at Splinter, finally admitting that he was only being used by Kitsune and the gods. "Those are wise words coming from the mouth of such a foolish man," his father says, and Saki turns to see his father leading an army of undead creatures. And he bows his head to him. "I can see that now, father. I accept that I have brought this on myself and I stand before you, defeated, knowing that my destiny was never mine to decide." He admits, and his father stares at his son for a moment before the undead begin to shriek, their bodies falling into liquid on the ground and reforming. Splinter squeaks, and Saki nods. "You're right, Yoshi. This can't be good." He acknowledges as he backs away, the undead reforming into a massive, tentacled, multi-eyed monster, screeching at Saki and forcing him back. It reaches out for him, pulling him into the open maw of its mouth. Splinter tries to help, biting at the creature, but he is knocked away, anger filling Saki, and energy building up within him. Meanwhile, Tatseo and the Dragon God can feel the energy growing. The ninja leaves the temple, gathering an army of demons at his back as he makes his way through the underworld. Saki lashes out with his energy, breaking free of the other monster's grasp, and he leaps away, claws of energy extending from his wrists. He leaps, slashing through the monster, ordering it to die. A face then appears, laughing at him, taunting him. "I said die!" He bellows in rage, energy rippling through the creature, killing it, leaving a burning patch of earth where it once stood. Saki rushes to the body of Splinter, lifting him up and beginning to shout to the demon. "Demon, I need your assistance again!" He shouts, but there is no answer. And Saki falls to his knees. "Please," he whispers. Splinter begins to glow as his spirit dies, the light shining and disappearing. Silence fills the air, but it is broken by the sound of clapping, and Saki looks up, glaring at Tatseo, who stands with his demon host. "Are we done?" Tatseo asks, and the demons launch themselves at Saki, who leaps to defend himself. Tatseo is questioning as Saki fights the mass of demons, kicking at them using his Dragon Warrior energy. He questions why Saki is at odds with his other half. Saki bellows in rage, igniting his energy wrist blades. "No, are you saying that this is all because of her?" Tatseo asks with a vile smile. He begins to laugh at the fact that Saki is merely a heartbroken child. "Shut up!" Saki yells, launching himself at Tatseo, and the two combat each other with their dragon energy, with Saki being knocked away. As Tatseo stalks forward, knocking Saki down again and again, he points out that he has stood by Kitsune's side for centuries, learning everything that he needed to know about becoming the Dragon Warrior, the vessel of the Dragon God, and he lifts Saki into the air, questioning why he never learned any of this in his time with Kitsune. "It doesn't matter now. Shredder will join the dragon." And there you have it, the first half of Shredder in Hell right here at Comicstorian. Now, this story takes place a little bit further down in the Turtles timeline, but I wanted to get to it right after the death of Shredder, because whether or not we return to the Turtles series, I thought this would be a cool addition to the whole thing, showing Shredder fighting his way out in his alliance with Splinter and how he sees everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check back next week for the conclusion to Shredder in Hell and the return of the Power Rangers series. Your guys' support is what we need here to survive, so please give us a comment, let us know with a like and subscription if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time right here.